Alright, let's talk about the pulse rifle. This gun is really cool. I've been using it a ton in my recent playthroughs, especially on Nightmare mode, and it just does a phenomenal job, especially with the way that people are building around this thing right now. So I want you to know how to get this gun. So first things first, you're going to have to re-roll N'erud, or check it and see if you've checked the existing N'erud that you've got first. But we need to go to the Custodian's Tower. So we're going to re-roll N'erud, and the very first thing we're going to do when we get out, doesn't matter if we start at the prison or at the Seeker's Rest, but the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to look up into the sky and try and identify where on the map the Custodian's Tower is. You'll know it because it's very easy to see. It's a statue holding a white orb, and it has hands where its boobs should be. You think I'm kidding about that, but I'm not. So you see it right here in front of me. Imagine you're surprised on a first date when that's what you find down there. So this is the Custodian's Tower. And that's where we're headed. There's going to be a checkpoint right next to it, so we know we're in the right spot. But there you go. That's the statue we're talking about. We want to go in there. It's a very short run from the spawning location. So like I said, you can spawn in the prison, you can spawn at Seeker's Rest, make your way out of it, and then beeline it straight to this statue, because this is how we're going to know if even getting the pulse rifle is possible in our current world. We need a certain number of stars to align in order to know that the pulse rifle is even obtainable in the world that we rolled. Now, you may have to do this multiple times, so may I make a recommendation? Equip a subclass or an archetype that you haven't leveled up yet, because there's tomes of knowledge often in between you and the Custodian's Tower. So you may as well, even on the runs where you're not getting anything, you're not, it's not the proper world to build on, you may as well make use out of it and get something positive out of it. So, two things I would tell you. Put on a subclass that you haven't leveled up, so that if you get tomes of knowledge from here to there on that short run, you get XP now towards that leveling up that archetype. The second thing I'd say is make sure you run all the way up to the Custodian and take a left, because there is a chest that spawns in his room with him every time as well. So you may as well get some free scrap and relic dust as well. Come in the door, you take a left, and there's this hole on the side behind the statues. Come down here. And now you'll see two elevators. You're going to want to take the one on the right. This is going to take us down to another level. And this is how we're going to find out if the pulse rifle is even obtainable to us. We're going to come into this room where you see the glowy purple energy. And there are 3 pedestals. We specifically need 2 of them to be vacant. Now this one that I rolled, all 3 pedestals have a little cylinder, in them. Those are memory cores. So this is not what we want. All 3 of these pedestals are occupied. They each have a little cylinder inserted into them. So we re-roll. We walk on in here. This time, see, I have 1 circle there, 1 prompt. I have 2 pedestals are occupied and 1 is vacant. I need 2 of them to be open. So again, we re-roll. I come out of Seeker's Rest, immediately look up and identify where the statue is, and I start running to it. And finally, after several re-rolls, here we go. I walk in here, and 2 of these pedestals are open. 2 of them are open. They don't have a cylinder in them. Perfect! That's what we need. That's what we want. So the pulse rifle is behind 2 laser doors back there, 2 energy barriers. We're going to find 2 memory fragments to shove in those holes to open up those doors to go pick up the pulse rifle. So we need to find 2 specific dungeons that have those memory cores in them. Now, this is N'erud. N'erud always has 2 main wastelands and 1 dungeon that connects the 2 to each other. So each one of these wastelands is going to have a point of interest that we need to find that has a dungeon that we're after. There are 2 dungeons we need to find. So when you're out there hunting, I know a lot of people get lost in the wastelands. You want to pull up this map because it's going to show you the layout of the land. Disregard what you see. What you want to do is look at where all the tendrils branch out on the map, right? See how the hatchery is in its own little tendril. See how the threshold of the unknown is up in its own tendril. The Phantom Wasteland is down in its own tendril. And again, on the other side of the map, it looks like an upside down starfish or something. Each tendril is going to have a point of interest in it. That's how N'erud works. So we need to go and clear each of those tendrils to find the dungeons that we're after. And now you can see that I have done that. I did the exploration, I uncovered the points of interest, and the 2 that we are after, the one right here, Dormant N'erudian Facility, that's one of them. We need the Dormant N'erudian Facility. And then on the other side of the map, way over there, you'll see Terminus Station in the bottom right. See the Terminus, sorry, I've got my other monitor over here, that's why I look over there. But you see Terminus Station is down there in the bottom right-hand corner. Those are the 2 dungeons we need to find. They are always on opposite wastelands, okay? In every time that I've had them pop up, they are in opposite wastelands. So you'll have to go back and forth from both sides, which means you will have to go through, for me, it was the hatchery to connect myself over to the other section. So if you're on one half of the wasteland and you need to get to the other half, always go to the tendril that points towards the other side. So for me, that was the hatchery. See how that tendril is pointing over to the other wasteland on the east side of the map? I had to go through the hatchery to get access to the Timeless Horizon. So I'm exploring the Phantom Wasteland, and here I find an arched doorway, right? It's not a rectangle. It's going to be an arched doorway to let us know it's a side dungeon, okay? That's important to notice. So if you see a rectangular doorway, that's a main path. Don't bother. Here we are, Dormant N'erudian Facility. Now, here's what we have to do here. This is a timed event where when we go through the sort of airlock, decontamination door, when we come out the other side, the clock is going to start ticking. And we need to clear out every enemy in this whole dungeon before that timer hits 0. All right? So here we go. We walk into the chamber here. Going to decontaminate. It's going to open the other side. And then we're going to hear a voice telling us, hey, attention, virulent life forms detected in this sector. And you'll notice a clock is going to start just under my mini-map in the upper right-hand corner. There it is. We've got 6 minutes to clear this place out. Honestly, I know people throw shade at it. Throw on Enigma. Everything here, this is going to be maybe one elite, but everything else here is just going to zap it to death, right? You ain't got nothing to prove. Who's watching your game anyway? You got nothing to prove. Pull out your Enigma and zap everything to death. So either go clockwise or counterclockwise. It's basically a big circle with a couple of offshooting hallways, but the main rooms are all connected. And when you start shooting stuff, everything's going to aggro on you anyway. So the bad guys are going to come hunt you down. And in the last room I came to, there was one little elite guy. We just bake him real quick. And there you have it. We had a couple minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time. Now, timeout. Now that you've cleared the whole facility, the lockdown is going to be lifted and you're free to explore. Now, I will say this. If you've already done the Dormant N'erudian Facility, there is an alternate completion method where you basically go manually turn off the lockdown yourself while the timer is still going, and that kind of results in a different outcome. So if that's something you want to explore, make sure you look that up. Otherwise, this is the quickest, simplest, easiest way to do it. Okay, now that we have cleared the facility, we need to come back to this point of the map. Okay, it's going to be in the back left corner. See how there's this little arched catwalk? This is where we need to go. We're going to drop down to this pipe and just follow the path laid before us. Drop down again, come in here. We're going to make our way to an elevator that's going to take us up to sort of the control area of this map. And here on the console, in the control room, is this red glowing quest object. Pick it up. This is the biome control glyph. We need to take this back to the entrance of this dungeon and open up a secret door. Well, it's not a secret door. It's just chilling there for you. All right, so here's the door at the entrance of the Dormant N'erudian Facility where you first come in. You gotta knock on the door, and it's going to be like, nah. So we use the biome control glyph. It'll give us access to this room. And when it opens, there will be our first memory fragment that we need to pick up and take. See how it's got the same glowy purple energy as the barrier down in the custodian's basement? We pick it up and we have our first memory core. We need to find one more. Now, we go to the opposite wasteland. So for me, the Timeless Horizon. We're going to be exploring the tendrils there until we find Terminus Station. Again, it's going to be marked by an arched doorway. Okay? Arched doorway means side dungeon. We're going to go in here and hope for the best. Lo and behold, we get Terminus Station, which is the dungeon that we're after. This is where the second memory fragment is going to be located. Clear this dungeon out, make your way through it until eventually you're going to get to an elevator. And it is a very long elevator ride. It's going to take you down, down, down. Now, when you board the train, the conductor's going to talk to you. He's like, yo, another living thing. That's crazy. I never see living things. I want to kill you. Because that makes sense. He's like, oh, it's been so long since I've seen another living human being. Flesh and bone. I'm going to kill you. So basically what we have to do is make our way through the train, progress through all the cars, and beat the clock and kill all the bad guys aboard. At one point, we even get on the top of the train. It's kind of a cool encounter, honestly. There will be a couple of elites along the way that you'll have to take down as well. And there you go. Once you've cleared it, the train will come to a stop. He will open the door for us. It'll say quest complete, but we need to get up into the front chamber of the train. Now to do that, we'll have to come back here where the checkpoint is, crouch and walk underneath these cables over here on the right. There's a little chest here for us to grab and a ladder for us to climb after we go under these cables here. So go ahead and do that. Drop in through the trap door here. There's going to be a big old mallet for you to pick up, and the second and last memory core that we were after will be sitting here at the console waiting for us to pick it up. Now we have both memory cores, and we can take them back to the custodian's tower, go in the basement, plug them in, and get our loot. And approach the purple glowy energy. Here we are going to insert both of the memory cores that we picked up. That order doesn't matter. Just plug them in. Plug one in, the first door will be deactivated. Plug the second one in, and the final door will be deactivated. Go ahead and walk in. Grab your core booster. And then laying here in the clutches of this dead N'erudian will be the pulse rifle for you to pick up. Congratulations. You did it. Pulse rifle's cool because it doesn't come with its own mod, so it's very adaptable. You can put any mod on it that you want. So it's great in that capacity because it's a really solid gun, but it's also highly adaptable, and it can be leveled up to level 20, which I have mine at because it's really freaking good. All right, I hope you found that helpful. Hopefully that answered all of your questions, and now you know exactly what to do and in what order. If you found this helpful, please let me know by leaving a like in the video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.